All right, today on the Mora Music NYC YouTube channel, we want to go through our very basic five finger scales. This is the most essential, most fundamental, basic form of scale that you're going to play. And a five finger scale is very simple because you're just going to start with your thumb and move it up to your pinky. As you're playing, notice that my thumb and my pinky being on opposite sides of the hands, right? So you want to kind of balance thumb to pinky and back down to thumb. Right? You want to do some slow movements, some fast movements, some super fast, right? Going up. You might want to take this same movement and do it on D. Right? The faster that you play, the lighter your fingers should be, right? Right? Also, like give your scales like a little line, like a little phrasing, right? Right? Just to make it a little musical. Obviously, whatever you do with the left, with the right, do with the left, right? Start with your thumb if you want, right? Just to feel comfortable. Our pinky tends to be a weaker finger. So you may want to just go down, right? Try not to emphasize the last note, right? If anything, start strong and end soft, right? And just get used to that and then reverse it. Remember, the thumb is a very strong finger, so you don't want to use all the power, right? Try to control. And the way you control is with your arm. With your arm, you kind of control your sound, right? Because if I'm digging deep, right? Digging deep and turning deep, I'm gonna get a loud sound. But if I turn obviously slower, right? I'm gonna get a softer sound. So actually my soft and loud is actually dependent on the speed at which I'm pressing the keys, right? So I'm going up, I'm going down, right? Then how about hands together? Start with the thumbs. And just go out, right? And then do it on, right? You're doing it on the D position, right? You're starting on D, but you're gonna do it inverse from the in to the out. If you feel like going back in, go back in. And treat it like, right? Treat it like as if you're just kind of lightly playing the keys, right? We're not trying to make a harsh sound, right? Right going up, or right and left going down. Left going down, right going up, right? What about, right, just to get used to some finger independence and some hand independence. Maybe pinky, right? Just to get used to your hands moving, right? How about in thirds? Right? Start with your thumb in middle. Make sure everything's even, like that. Right? That wasn't even, but even that wasn't. Yeah, that's better. That's the way it should sound. Right? So now I'm kind of getting used to playing the piano in a certain way where I'm relaxed and I feel like I can control the evenness of my fingers, right? Because one thing that plagues us a lot when we're learning, when we're beginning this piano journey, is just not having a nice sound, right? Not having a pleasant sound. So these are some ways that you can start to learn how to control the muscles and the nerves in your hands to get a smooth and nice, even sound. And then maybe you want to now combine, right? So maybe instead of playing the scale broken, maybe you want to combine some notes together and get used to playing a chord, right? In the traditional fingering. I've seen a lot of people, right? They play their chords like this because these are the strong fingers. But you should try to use this traditional fingering because you're gonna want this fingering in the future, right? Some when you do some inversions, you're gonna want that. So even though this may feel like what you're feeling good doing, but this is gonna be better for you in the long run. Thumb, middle, pinky on all your chords. Maybe you can move it up, right? You don't have to go too far. Just go up a little and back and forth, down, just back and forth, right? And of course, whatever we do with the right, maybe we can do it with the left. So if you're not feeling too strong on your left, just go between two chords, right? Find two sounds that you like. And I like that sound. And maybe, and then back to, right? And hold the chord. Hold it down. Once you hold the chord down, by the way, don't put pressure on your elbow and on your fingers, right? Don't press into the keyboard because there's no more sound is going to come out. There's nothing benefited by putting pressure, right? So once you press, just relax. Just relax your hand, relax your arm, right? Press, lift, and let the weight of your arm press the keys down. So we're not playing from the fingers, from the tips of the fingers. We're actually playing from the arm, right? We're going down and creating weight. Try to keep a stable wrist, right? Like we're not trying to be classical musicians, right? Trained, maestros of the piano, but we do want to have at least a decent technique, right? So now that you can play single notes melodically and you can play some, right, intervals smoothly, hopefully, right? Then maybe you want to, and you can play some chords, right, going up. Maybe you want to experiment. And then right, maybe you just want to experiment and play random chords and see what your ear likes to hear. Now, you may want to, if you have an 88 key keyboard, you may want to hold down some octaves, right? And hear that deep sound. Right? Right? Notice I'm holding the left hand. I'm not trying to be too busy because the right hand is the one that is grabbing our interest, right? Doesn't matter what I play in the left, it's all gonna work because we're using the C scale. So, right? We're using all the white keys, and all these white keys work together. Doesn't matter what I press in the left hand. Even that sound. right? So maybe you want to experiment just hearing some sounds, and I'm not pressing too aggressively on the bottom keys. I'm just kind of laying my octaves, right? When we play two of the same notes. And then these triads, these 3-note chords. Now, perhaps you may want to experiment with playing some chords in the left hand and then just use the associated scale, right? So if I'm playing an E chord, maybe right? If I'm playing the D chord, if I go to A, B, C, and I just do that little motive, right? That little pattern. Same pattern on F. Thumb, pointer, middle. Maybe when I go back to G, right, I'm gonna go from the D, C, and then down to the G. So I'm already starting to compose, right, some form of music in a spontaneous manner by improvising off of these chords and scales. Right? Maybe that pattern works for me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe I want to skip around. Go to E. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Maybe I want to do 5 and 2 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Right? Any direction that you go into is fine. Choose some numbers, right? And say, okay, now I'm going to do, I don't know, 3 and 5. I'll do it on the D. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So random. 1, 2, 3. Right? In order. 1, 2, 3. I skip there. Right? And go to D. So notice I'm just holding the left hand down. I'm not trying to be too busy because the right hand, again, is seeking our attention with its playing, right? Maybe you want to do a longer run, so you don't know what to do with your fingers. So just use maybe 2 fingers, right? Or maybe 3 fingers going up. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. There's 2 ways, by the way, that you can use your thumb. You can, right? You can shift it under. And when you shift it under, right, you're going to literally move your thumb sideways, right? Or you can just move your entire hand over. So here's shifting under, shift under, and then shift under, and then let the hand fall into place, right? Shift under. So my thumb is on that G, right? So my thumb is on that G. And then I shift over, right? That takes a little bit of practice. Thumb on F, shift over. Thumb on B, shift over, right? Or maybe I move the entire hand, right? I go up and down, right? I have a slight silence in between, but maybe I like that sound. Ultimately, you want to be able to explore and feel free on the piano, right? As a new player, as a person that is introducing themselves to this keyboard. So on a future video, I'm going to review some triads and inversions, which I think are going to be helpful for you, right? So here's a triad, and these 3 notes, I can play them in these 3 different configurations, right? Root, first, second, root. But we'll do that in our next video. All right. Take care. Good luck with your practicing. Have fun. Make music.